What's going on, guys? As a massive Turn A Gundam fan, I'm very excited to be reviewing this kit here for you guys today. This is the Wodom Pod, which of course is not technically from Turn A. This is the Build Divers version of that. I've still not yet been watching Build Divers, so I've not seen this actually in the anime. But if you guys are unfamiliar with this very odd design, this is a mobile suit. I guess you can call it a mobile suit, sort of, from Gundam Turn A Gundam. I mean, this design is very similar to how the Wodom appeared in Turn A, so I'm wondering if we are going to get an actual Turn A version high-grade kit out for this later. I'm also wondering about the size, because in Turn A it's quite large. And so I wonder if this kit is going to be in the correct scale as to how it appeared in Turn A, or if this is in like a little bit different scale as for how it appeared in Gundam Build Divers. So I'm not sure, but anyway, I'll check on that. In the meantime, why don't we check out the box here and its contents, and then we'll get it built up and do the review and everything. So I mean, just that front box art is very cool, showing it in its two different forms. The transformed mode, which is kind of basically like just the arms and legs folded up in there, but is looking very cool. And then on the side, we can see this is number 28 in the line. On the bottom of the box, basically showing a bunch of different action poses here, essentially the poses that we saw on the front of the box and the box artwork there, with the legs stretched out and then with it transformed in its high-speed flight form. You got the large beam cannon, the triple missile pod, and the Wodom Pod Plus, which is just some parts added to the backpack and the legs. Very strange. The leg parts are cool. The backpack parts, I'm not really sure what's going on with those. And then a little advertisement here for posing it with the mobile doll May. Right on the top of the box, we got just the front and back view, what the kit is going to look like, painted up and lined up all in its proper colors and everything. We got a little bit of background information there and a little bit of introduction about the Build Divers story as well. So let's go ahead and get it opened up. We've got 4 bags of runners and our instruction manual here. And on the top half of the manual, we just got the box art once again. On the bottom half, we got some artwork there for the design, the Wodom Pod and the Wodom Pod Plus there. And then a little bit over here about May as well. You got some information there in Japanese and in English. Around here on the back side, more just about the material, Gunpla, the Wodom. Yeah, there is no actual Wodom kit before this kit. And then again, just about the high-speed flight form, the triple missile pod, the leg unit, the large beam cannon, the plus armor, and then again mobile doll May there, and then our color guide down here at the bottom. That's there in Japanese and in English. Inside here we've got the parts list, and it looks like we're going to be using everything in there, and in no polycaps, so that's pretty cool. No leftover parts either. Because it's a pretty unique design, it's going to be going with the body, which is kind of also the head all at once there, and the right arm, left arm, pretty simply, just a few pieces, and then the right leg, I should say. Because the left leg is back around here on the color pages on the back side, and then building the Wodom Pod Plus parts there after you do your final assembly, and then about how to assemble the base, so it is including a base, that's always nice, and then how to transform it into the high-speed flight form. So there you go. So yep, no polycaps, but we do have some foil stickers here. Not a lot, just a few of those there, black and that nice kind of shiny blue and a little bit of that purple as well. And the clear base parts, just the kind of base that you just cut apart and put it together. Runner A1 here in black, you can see some pretty large parts on there, and then also runner A2 also in black, and some of the very big parts on there for like the backpack sort of, and the top of the head there obviously. Then runner B1 here, some of our parts in white, we got some weapons parts, parts for the legs as well, and then we got runner B2, which is a copy of this half of the runner over here. Runner C1 going to be all of our parts in that nice turquoise color. I really like this color, it really looks good. And then runner C2 is a copy of this half of the runner here. You can see we also got our little hands on there as well. Then runner D1 in this purplish color is going to be the parts for the plus armor. And we do also have runner D2, which is a copy of this part of the runner there. So that is it for all the parts. It really doesn't have a whole lot of parts, so it shouldn't take too long to get together. I'll get this all snapped up and we'll see how it looks. Alright, so here it is all built up, and this was another really fun kit to build up. Very simple, it didn't really take all that long. It was a pretty quick build putting this together, but really fun, interesting, of course, just because such a odd, interesting design. And I gotta say right off the bat that I don't think this is necessarily going to be a kit for everyone. It's a very unique design, very unique build, and so I can see why a lot of people may not be too into this kit right off the bat if you prefer more traditional Gundam style designs for your model kits or something. But I do highly recommend you guys check this out, whether you're really super into Turn A or the Wodom Pod or Build Divers or whatever, just because of the fact that it's such a unique kit. I think there's a lot of possibilities that you could do with this in terms of like how you want to customize and paint this up, but we'll get into all that. Let's just go ahead and take a closer up look here at the kit first off. And first off, just on the size accuracy of this, at least the original Wodom from Gundam Turn A was supposed to be 40 meters tall, which should be twice the height of our RX-78 here. As you can see, while it is definitely taller than your standard Gundam, it's not at the height that it technically should be if this was the official height of the original Wodom, but considering this is the Build Divers version, I can understand why they changed up the size of it, I suppose. Doesn't really bother me all that much either way, to be honest. And while I've got the Gundam out, one other thing that I want to test, that this kit doesn't come with anything to hold in the hands, but it looks like the hands could sort of hold something if you wanted to try it. So just for an example, I want to try just holding the Gundam's beam saber, and as you can see, it's sort of held in there, though not really well. It's enough, I guess, but it's not going to be super good at holding stuff with those hands. You could swap them out, certainly, for other different option hands, though, if you wanted to, so that'd be easy enough if you wanted to have it holding some accessory. But as for its accessories, this is all you've got here, the base and the parts to make the Wodom Pod Plus. Other accessories for this otherwise are non-existent. Now, as for the stickers, got that black sticker that wraps around the inside up there, and then they're basically kind of all in the eye. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4 stickers that go around in the eye section there. And the last ones are up here underneath the back skirt, tail skirt, backpack kind of parts here. Those blue ones that make that effect up in there. As for the articulation, the head will rotate side to side there. You can't move it up and down though. These little fins here on the back will rotate. These missile pods and laser cannons here on the side will rotate and also move up and down, so you can change the angle of those and also rotate those. For the arms up here in the front, those will move up and down, in and out like that, rotate around, bend at the elbow, a little bit more than 90 degrees there. The hands are just on ball joints there. The legs will also move out, very far out to the side, all the way up to the front there, and then bend at the knee to give you a nice full bend there. The front and back of the feet move separately, so at maximum width it's going to be like that, and then you can close them up basically all the way closed together like that. You can also adjust the angle of this slightly side to side like that for when you've got it standing. And this back skirt part here, which you just saw a minute ago, will move up and down as well. So a lot of nice detail around on this, but there's not really a whole lot like up underneath. It's just this big hollow piece there. This part does also slide back, and this part opens up. It's kind of, I guess, for the transformation, but I think you could do some cool stuff having some like little, if you had like a little 120 or 135th scale figure or something like that, you could set it up in there for doing something fun and cool with this. And to be honest, I thought this whole sliding back and then this part opening up and sliding forward like that, I thought that was somehow related to the transformation, but it's actually not, because once that is closed up like that, this is how it looks when it's transformed into the high-speed flight form. Basically just rotate the arms around, fold them back, fold the legs up, and that's kind of it for the high-speed flight form. It's pretty stupid, but I think it's just kind of not really necessary. I mean, like, including the transformation in this is just not really particularly necessary for it to be a cool kit. So let's just not worry about that for the time being. But I'm still wondering why the part there opens on the top of the head. I can't think of at the moment why it does that. As for transforming it into the Wodom Pod Plus, you need to remove these fins here on the back. You're going to replace these with these parts here, which, as many people have pointed out, look like massive like front or back skirt sections to like a 160 scale kit or something. Then this part here plugs onto the center of the back there like that. And then these parts will close up around the front of the leg here like that, and there you go, so added armor. So these parts added onto the legs I can be fine with. Those are kind of cool. I mean, they just add some bulk to the legs there. These parts on the back, though, to be honest, I'm not really into it. From the front, it looks like it's supposed to be some sort of like goofy bow on the back of the head, like a giant massive bow on the back. Yeah, it just looks like really weird, like some bad kit bash. Like someone just took these like giant 160 scale Gundam skirt armor parts and just stuck them on the back there. And from the front, you just see this big hollow gap. It doesn't look good at all. It almost looks like there's this big square space in there, like these are meant to be for something. Like they're meant to plug onto somewhere for something, and these parts are taken from something else, or they're gonna be used for something else later on in the future. I'm not sure, but they definitely look like there's something more going on there than what we're seeing of the kit now. So honestly, for me, this is probably going to be the only time where I'm putting these Wodom Pod Plus parts on there. After this, I'm going to take them off and probably not ever put them on again. I just prefer the look of the kit without them. And as a Turn A fan, I am super glad that we finally got a kit of this. I never thought I'd live to see the day where we get a kit of the Wodom. But that said, with it not being the proper size and not being actually the Turn A version of this, I'm still holding out hope that hopefully someday we'll get a Turn A version of this, but who knows how long the wait will actually be, and if they do just keep it as the same kit, or if they do end up making a larger one which is actually to 1/144 scale, or if they end up just changing the scale, they may release it as like a 1/200 scale something kit, something like that. I'm not actually sure what the number would be, but you guys get the idea. They don't have to necessarily make it as an HG 1/144 scale kit. They could just release it as Turn A Gundam HG, 1/200 scale, whatever. So I don't know. Either way, a very cool kit. Really love the detail on this as well. And again, there's just a lot of potential, I think. While what you get in the box is like not a ton, you don't have a lot of accessories aside from the plus parts and the base. I mean, that's kind of pretty minimal. I think there's a lot that you could do with other parts, you know, adding other different weapons onto this or something, giving it something cool to hold. Again, like if it's just like a massive beam saber weapon or something like that, I think would probably be the most interesting. But any other sort of melee weapon or cannon or something you want to give it to hold in the hands could be pretty cool. And then just however you want to paint it up too. I think it's a kit that's very open to a lot of really interesting and unique paint schemes. So I would love to see, I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of different customs of this kit coming out, you know, now that it's out in the open. I can't wait to see different people's work on this kit. So let me know your guys' thoughts down there in the comment section below. As always, guys, look forward to hearing from you. And thank you so much for your support, whether it be liking the video, commenting, subscribing, doing all that. Really appreciate the support. And again, thank you to USA Gundam Store for their support as well, guys. You can check the link to USA Gundam Store as well as my coupon code you guys can use down there in the video description. And until next time, guys, hope you're all having a great day. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.